So welcome everyone to the first video of this new channel. Today I really wanted to talk about this game. I totally felt in love with this game that is perfect for all those who love the first titles of Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. Is an RPG, a beautiful RPG, an almost perfect game. Why? We'll see that. So thank you so much for clicking the video and for your support. As I said, this is what I was looking for a long time, a classic role game with all the potential of the present day. Well, Dragon Quest XI is amazing too, but in my opinion Octopath Traveler is perfect in every single aspect. Well, almost perfect. We'll get there, but first I'll set all the wonderful stuff. The design of the entire game, the simple concept of the game is amazing. The simple fact of watch the screen is so enjoyable. It's like to be in the past and the present at the same time. Without doubt, I can say that in my opinion is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. And I'm not just talking about the sprites, I mean the concept art of the characters where you can see them as a painting is amazing. Yeah, it's obvious that I'm a fanboy of Final Fantasy series, but damn, this is art. To finish with the visual aspect, I'll just say that the design of every single boss is awesome too. Now let's talk about the music. What can I say? I have no more adjectives. But okay, I'm not going to lie, it's not the best soundtrack of the world, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's not like to hear the soundtrack of Silent Hill or The Legend of Zelda for the first time, but definitely you'll download 2 or 3 songs. By the way, all the music of this video is of that game, so the music is good. There are no complaints here either. Let's go with the gameplay. I must say, even when I have a Nintendo Switch, of course, I'm not used to play on that console. So I don't know if this happens in the most of the games, but I'll say it. There are no loading screens. Well, of course there are, but the load of the entire game is so quick. Every time you use fast travel or you'll see a cinematic, the time between those actions is almost non-existent. There are just a few seconds between the moment you turn on the console and you start playing, and that's so comfortable. Now, the game is amazing. If you have played role games before, you already know how this works, but this game has its own mechanics. Even when you can play with 8 different characters, you can just have 4 on your party at the same time, and all of them have their different skills, so you'll need to create a lot of possible combinations. You can begin the story with any character you want and join the rest in the order you want to. The way this works is amazing and makes the first experience of each player unique. Maybe at the beginning the map looks small, but believe me, there are a lot of things to do. There are a lot of secrets for each character in each town, a lot of dungeons, optional bosses, items, power-ups, etc. At least you'll need to be twice on the same place to get everything. The game won't never tell you where to go, never. I really loved that, because when other games tell you where to go and how to get there, you feel that you don't really have freedom, but here any mission is more important than other. You can stop doing any mission you are in at any moment and start another of another character. Each time you open the map of the world, you'll see 8 different principal missions, always, and you are totally free to get whatever you want. Of course, the game warns you of the recommended level, but you are totally able to ignore this, and believe me, if you create a good strategy, you can defeat any boss with a higher level than yours. Talking about the difficulty of the game, to be honest, it's if you're that kind of player that complete all the secondary missions, return to all the places for all the secrets, talk to everyone and that kind of things, the game is too easy. I always had a higher level than the recommended one for all the missions. I almost forgot. Talking about secondary missions, I really loved this aspect too. If I said before that the game doesn't tell you anything, In the secondary missions, the game really doesn't give you anything easy. The secondary missions are something really secondary in the game. I mean, of course the NPCs who have missions for you will be in color orange in the map, but in the moment you say yes to the mission, you won't have any other indication. If you didn't read what the character had to say, then you won't have more info. It's not like sandbox games where you can skip all the dialogues and the map will say to you where to go and what to do. This is something hard to explain. You have to play the game to totally understand me, but believe me, you'll have to do really specific actions that anyone won't tell you how, and that's amazing. Now, we already have talked about the art, the music, the gameplay, and all of that is incredible. Now, there's just something else, the story of the game. Anything is perfect in the world, and this is what makes this game not perfect. Okay, before saying the bad points, I'll say something good about the story of the game. You're not forced to see anything you don't want to. I mean, you can skip all the cut scenes and all the dialogues in the game. If you want to, your experience with the game can be totally gameplay, and have that choice is so comfortable, because there are awesome stories, but some others are so bored and predictable. But okay, finally, which is the actually bad point of the game? Well, each character has his or her own story. That's why it doesn't matter with who you begin the story or the order you play the missions. And talking about the gameplay, that's so cool, but talking about story, it doesn't work, at least for me. In my personal opinion, the characters don't have any reason to be together. In fact, some of them would never be together. There are no cinematics of them together, there are no dialogues between them either. Well, this is not totally true, there's something. Sometimes they say things related to the story of a partner, but even in those moments, the voice actors didn't record anything for this, it's all text. Octopath Traveler is literally 8 different stories that you are playing at the same time. It's irrelevant that they were together. Even in the cinematics of the story of a specific character, everyone acts like if she or he were alone. Even when you have other 7 persons with you. Everyone have different goals, and any of those goals take anyone to the same path. The missions are so far one of another. They are not even going to the same place. Maybe for some of you this is not relevant and the game is totally perfect, because yeah, even when the stories are separate, the most of them are awesome, I have to admit that. But that is something that really bothered me. I really appreciate the story of the games and I love small details. For example, again Dragon Quest XI. The interaction between the members of the party is awesome. Everything has a reason to be. I don't want to make spoiler, but the last member to join the crew really surprised me. It was one of my favorite moments of the entire game, but Octopath Traveler are 8 people that are just together for the gameplay and because they live in the same world, literally. It's not an awesome story that reunites them. Are 8 little separate stories. So conclusion, you won't find a good story, and even so, this is one of the best games I've ever played in my life. If you're a fan of the classic RPGs, I don't know what you're waiting for. So remember, you can follow me on Instagram as Albondiguin2. I hope you really enjoyed the video. See you next time.